and girls, and hello, every single viewer on Twitch.
Hi,
and
guys.
hello, Leonard.
Hi, Sebastian. How are you today?
I'm fine. Had a long day, but now I'm happy to be here with you and to talk some Yu-Gi-Oh!
Isn't that lovely?
I think so, right? Every Tuesday, we just get together and talk some Yu-Gi-Oh! Pretty amazing. So we are back for another episode of YPFL Talk, and we have a lot of stuff to talk about. So let's just give a brief overview about what we're talking today. The first point, you can already see it in the title. We will have a guest today, and that guest will be Zoè Weber. So definitely stay tuned for that. She will join us in the second half of the podcast.
As always.
Right? As always, right. And also we have like the general points, the usual points for our podcast. We will have an event recap. We will have a deck of the week, a player of the week, a card of the week. And yeah, we will just dive into it, I would say. Shall we?
Yeah, if that isn't nice. So the first tournament we're going to talk about is going to be, of course, the regional in Karlsruhe, as we were both unable to attend any tournaments this weekend.
Correct.
As you might have noticed, because we were casting the Karlsruhe tournament. We're going to talk about that and our impressions about the tournament.
Surely.
Let's see. Like the most represented deck was Salomon Grade, as to be expected. This deck is just everywhere, also because it's like cheap as hell.
Totally, yeah.
But the top cut still was pretty diverse. I think it was like 6 different decks, right? 3 Salomon Grades and 5 other different decks.
Yeah, it was really surprising that actually Sky Striker did not really seem that powerful in Karlsruhe this weekend. There was only one Karlsruhe. And you could say that Sky Striker, for example, was as successful as Dinosaur, True King, Hand Traps, Kaijus, whatever it was. They had the same success level.
This deck was like a teammate of mine lost to it, and he was so annoyed because the deck is like 40 cards, and he plays 20 bricks in his main deck, but he always opens like Terraforming and double Fossil Dig. Always goes like nuts.
Feels good, man. Also, a thing to point out is that Altergeist finally managed to top another regional. Seemed like Altergeist couldn't do well in any tournaments anymore, but Multifaker had another top cut spot.
Yeah, Louis D-Rolf and the decklist dude.
Yeah, what do you think about it?
Let's say I don't really love it.
It was special. Let's say it was special, right?
Yeah, the amount of pot cards in the deck was like the ratios were weird. I didn't really take a look at the rest of the main deck, but playing 1 Pot of Extravagance and 2 Pot of Desires doesn't seem too optimal.
Not really. No, I do agree. And yeah, do you have a special play of the weekend, maybe? I mean, we both saw the whole tournament, and we had a pretty fun experience, I would say. Also, we had quite a few watchers, so hopefully some of the watchers from the weekend have come over today to join us with our podcast. But yeah, do you have a favorite play of the weekend?
Yeah, of course. I mean, the chat went crazy. It was game 2 of Subterra versus Trickstar. Trickstar had opted to start, and the Subterra player opened with Pot of Extravagance. So while I was saying that Pot of Extravagance is such a nice opener versus Trickstar because you can't get Reincarnation lockbirded that turn anymore, because after Pot is activated, you cannot activate Reincarnation anymore, or after Pot has resolved.
Yeah, so you said that on the first view. You were like, yeah. That won't work.
Yeah, like, because his opponent started with 2 Reincarnations. I mean, he was still in a decent spot because he could burn for a lot of damage if he responds to the Extravagance activation, so he wouldn't lose on the spot. But, like, the Subterra player didn't know that, so, like, he activated Extravagance, that was fine. And then he started to, like, playing around Lockbird by setting cards.
It was so weird because both players didn't know, right?
Yeah, and at some point, the Trickster player just activated Reincarnation, and the Subterra player was like, yeah, well, okay, so I'm gonna bust out my entire hand now, put his hand in the banish pile, so his opponent could see like every single card he has in play.
Yeah.
And then they kept on playing. Like after 20 different misplays, or let's not say misplays, but illegal plays,
Right.
like discarding hand traps that were previously called by the Graved, and all that good stuff. So
it was really fun to watch, but it was also painful to watch, right?
Yeah, that painful is a good word for that.
Yeah.
Totally.
And I think a lot of people in the chat agreed with that. They were like, "Oh, what is happening? No, no, no!" It's like they really were entertained by it. You could say that.
Yeah, I loved how the chat reacted when the Subterra player played like also the finals game, and everyone was like, "No, more illegal plays!
please give us more of that." Yeah, yeah. But there was another big event happening this weekend.
Yeah.
I mean, we were casting the event in Karlsruhe, but overseas in Orlando, America, there was a PPG event happening, and they kind of struggled with their stream. I think they only streamed top 4 and the finals in the end, but all of a sudden the event was taken down by Sky Striker, so that's not really that big of a surprise. But I could just talk you through the top 16 decks we had there. We actually had 4 Sky Striker decks, joined by 4 Salamangreat decks. So these two were at the top, as it was as expected, you know, like these 2 decks were kind of making it up the last few weeks. But also we had 3 Pendulum decks, really impressive. Yeah. And then 2 True Draco decks. Also, True Draco is a very interesting deck at the moment. It is really coming back into play, because it has a pretty good matchup versus Salamangreats. And I think
also versus the Orcus Danger decks. Like, if you're taking a look at the deck list of Dinkabui, there's not that much he can do if his opponent starts with a Floodgate.
Yeah, right. That's true. And also, another point is, evenly matched is it is going out of the side decks from the players, because they're like, it is not that good versus Salamangreat, because Salamangreat will have Salamangreat War. So they're not playing evenly matched anymore. And that is a really big upside for the True Draco deck, because for True Draco decks, the evenly matched always is a blowout, or like mostly is a blowout. So that's very good for them too.
Yeah, and like the entire protection of the Salamangreat deck, they just don't really care about it, honestly. There's like this 1 Bailings per turn and Raw, and you just tribute a trap, and then you can like pop the monster. It will be protected, the wolf, and then you can just punch over it, and this is already enough to basically out the board. Like you pop or you tribute a spell and pop the Raw. This is also insane. So the matchup is really good for Draco.
And then the top 32 is complete. The top 16 is completed by 1 Danger Zombie, 1 Prank Hits, and 1 Dangerous Thunder. Really, really interesting. Only 1 Dangerous Thunder managed to top 16. So it's like this deck really is falling out of favor quickly and drastically. That is really, really interesting, I would say.
I mean, it kind of loses to every hand trap in the game, right?
Surely. Yeah, but I would say, because we had a Pendulum deck in the finals, I would that deck declare the deck of the week, because this deck is it's a little bit like Sky Striker, actually, because it's surviving so long already. We have Pendulums for quite a while now, don't we?
Well, there is like the kind of a difference that a Pendulum survives the ban list by still being able to like put out a decent board or OTK easily. Then Sky Striker just dodges every ban list. Like Konami doesn't think it's necessary to hit engage or something like that. So
yeah, absolutely. You're right. So it's not like top of the pop, but it's still relevant, and you have to think about it when you're preparing your deck. You know, there will be like some Pendulum in the metagame for like the last year or so, or even longer. That's really interesting. But I think the more interesting point about that is our player of the week is actually the guy that got into the finals with that deck, with the Pendulum deck.
Yeah.
And it is Jeremy Mitchell. And if you're following the tournament scene, you might notice that guy actually won the last PPG event.
Yeah.
So that's like super impressive. He went back-to-back finals.
Only that. Like it's like also with Pendulum, and additionally he also won a YCS with Pendulum.
That's insane. It kind of feels like he is a Pendulum god. I don't know.
Who's Triff?
I mean,
who is Triff?
He's a well-earned Pendulum god at least. He's super big success with the deck. It's really, really impressive when you see these numbers that you just went back-to-back finals in this event. I mean, it would have been even more crazy if he would have won that final against Sky Strikers, but he did sadly not do that. But still, like back-to-back finals with Pendulum in 2019. Wow.
Very especially impressive. Because everyone is running so many hand traps right now. I mean, this is kind of like Ogre has been fallen out of favor for a bit, at least. But still, like the Ash and Valor and Impermanence, they still kind of hurt the deck. If you don't open with like the best hand, then you can fix it with Electromite, and Electromite gets hit by Ogre and Valor quite hard.
I do agree, yeah.
Also, decks like Sky Striker don't have too much of a hard time playing through a board with like 1 or 2 negates, because then they can kind of easily ignore it or bait them out with multi-roll already. So it's like really impressive to get that far with a Pendulum deck, because I think right now this deck isn't really the best, to be honest.
No, but it seems like Jeremy Mitchell does not agree with you on that point, and he's really continuing to play the deck, and he's very confident in it, and he just seems to crush everybody with it. I mean, he must be playing it perfectly. I sadly didn't see the finals this time, so I didn't see him playing the Pendulum deck. But I mean, I would have seen him losing, so maybe I couldn't have seen that much from him. But like, he must be like piloting this deck so well, and like know every matchup, every combo, every perfect play. He must know how to play around different hand traps and everything. He just seems to be the Pendulum god, as we said. I don't know whether you guys in the chat agree, but I think he's a well-deserved Pendulum god, at least.
Not like someone who jokingly stalls for time and then wins with Cowboy and a YCS until he gets the tops.
Yeah, I agree. So, shall we go over to the card of the week, maybe?
Yeah, why not?
So, tell us, what is our card of the week? What have we decided on?
So, we have like... Last week we had like pretty the archetype-specific card, which was Shark Cannon, because the card has gained more impact than it had before. And this week it is Solemn Strike, actually a staple for quite a while, which has been like shifting through the meta game over the time. Like it's always been in some deck lists and top cuts.
Yeah,
but this time I think it just gets more and more powerful, because like a deck like Salamangreat has many power plays, but like in a matchup with Sky Striker, for example, one of your biggest power plays, if not the biggest, is double Heat Leo. And if you have Striker, you can just like stop the first summon, and then he can't even get into the second Heat Leo like at all. Also, you stop the Gazelle effect. Like, this card is insane.
Yeah, and also in the Sky Striker mirror match, the card obviously is insane too. If you just negate the summon of Kagari and your opponent isn't able to set up another monster, he will just be in a super bad position.
Yeah. So this card can actually be like a serious game breaker. Also, if more people would main deck this card, then Pendulum wouldn't get...
That's what I wanted to say as well. Like, Pendulum summon 4, Solemn Strike. I don't want to be that guy sitting on the Pendulum sides there.
Yeah, I don't miss that scenario. Like, when I was playing Pendulums in 2016, I played that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Like, every time my opponent had a back row, I was so afraid of that.
I can understand why, yeah. That strike is really bringing the power. And it's still...
Yeah, opponent starts with 1 Beatrice, and then you get striked for 4, and then you lose, and then you go home, and you're sad.
Do you have a special Pendulum summon negated by strike story? Or did you have like a super bad experience with that? Or why is that so relevant in your head?
No, but I had a great one where I played versus Jonas Koschel.
Mm-hmm.
and I summoned Psyblocker to call Solemn Strike.
Oh, for real?
And then he flipped over Vanity's Emptiness, so I couldn't Pendulum summon.
Ouch.
So next turn, he wanted to go for a game by summoning Bunbuku and activating the effect and striking its own effect, so he could get rid of Vanity's Emptiness and then Pendulum summon for 5 and kill me. But then we remembered that Solemn Strike was still not to be activated because of Psyblocker, and then he scooped.
Oh, that's sick. So it may have been better to actually strike the Psyblocker there?
Yeah, probably. Well, he would have still had to activate the Vanity's Emptiness, right?
Sure. But I mean, if that protects him already, he might use the strike on that. But that seems to be long in the past. So let's talk about more actual stuff. Maybe some news for our news time segment.
Yes, and we have a lot.
Good idea. Yeah, we were going through the news we could bring you today, and we were like, boy, are there any news? And we were like coming up with, oh yeah, that happens this week. So we actually have quite some news for you. So let's start off with the national championships in Europe. Quite a few of them have been announced over the course of the week. And first off, I think we had the double announcement of the nationals in Germany, which will be happening on the 1st and 2nd of June. And then we had the nationals of Austria happening at the 18th and 19th of June.
Wasn't that May?
Oh, absolutely, May. Yeah, right. Austria is before Germany. I'm an idiot, for sure. You're right.
Yes, you are. No problem. I still love you.
Oh, thank you so much. And can you tell us the date of the national championship in Spain? Because that was announced too.
I think that is... here we have it. Viernes 3 de Mayo. So I think it's the 3rd and 4th of May.
Yeah, I think I agree. Yeah. That's what I have written down here too.
It could also be the 4th and 5th because I can't speak Spanish. And it says Fechas 4 y 5 de Mayo. And I think the 3rd is just pre-registration and Dragon Duel. Yeah,
you're right. I'm just looking it up, and the 3rd of May is actually a Friday, so it will probably be the 4th and 5th of May.
Yeah.
So if you want to travel to Spain for your national championship, go ahead. I think Spain in May is a pretty good choice. You could have a nice time there.
Yeah, and will the Nose Matador defend his title?
Oh, right. Adrian Durzan is the reigning Spanish national champion, right?
Yeah, he is with True Draco, and he played Waking the Dragon. He was the first one to play it.
Oh, yeah. And if you're the first one to play it, nobody sees it coming, right? That's the advantage of that. That's really
and after that, the card became shit, honestly.
Yeah, because people were playing around it. That's very, very often the case when people know about a thing, it is not good anymore. Like it was with Prankits, for example. As soon as people knew how to play against Prankits, the deck wasn't good anymore. It was not as powerful as it was with Dinkabui in Milano, of course.
Yeah, and right now you have to also see that the Rage Raptor Ultimate Falcon, which was basically the best card to summon off of Waking the Dragon, it's not that good anymore, honestly. Basically the only out for Sky Strikers was to have 21 spell cards or 20 spell cards and then crash with Kagari, which was basically impossible because if you were at that game state, you have no resources left in your deck.
Correct.
And right now you can just summon Borreload because yes, Rage Raptor Ultimate Falcon is unaffected by the effect of Borreload, so it doesn't get its ATK halved, but Borreload still gets the attack, so this will be a quite powerful Borreload.
Yeah, exactly. You were talking about Borreload, but obviously you meant Borrowed Sword, and yeah, you're 100% right. Borrowed Sword is a pretty good out against that, and that didn't happen to me lately. This card really isn't seeing any play at the moment.
I lost once to it at locals.
Okay, sad local stories, right?
Yeah, I was 4-1 and I lost because I didn't get Altergeist Urban Chi, or how is it called? The big one, the Link 3. I didn't get it, and
it's the English name, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't care because like at that point I didn't think I would need it for locals, and then there was this Ultimate Falcon. I was like, yeah, this would be an out with Hextia together. It would be at 3-6. So
right, yeah, that's also an out against one of the few outs against Borreload, of course. Like Borreload is pretty hard to deal against with Altergeist as well, and so Falcon and Borreload both can be outed with that Prime Banshee and Hexia combo, of course. Yeah, so let's move on to our next point of the news time section. And there have been some reprints being announced for the Endymion deck, right? For the structure deck just coming up.
I think it's in the OCG only, though, right? Or
so far they announced it for the OCG decks, yeah. So we don't know whether we will get it, but hopefully we will get it because the cards are pretty clutch.
Yeah, it's Drone Lockbird and Pot of Desires.
Yep.
Also, the next starter deck will have Raigeki in it as a common.
Yep. That was announced today, I think. Also a very cool reprint because Raigeki, even though it isn't really being played right now, it is still quite expensive, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I mean, there's a secret rare version from the Legendary Collection. I don't think that can be too expensive, but
it's ultra rare, right?
Oh yeah. Oh no, yeah, you're right. It's ultra rare, yeah. So I don't know how expensive this is, but I mean, a common version and a reprint definitely is pretty good. I think we can live with that. Reprints just helps the player base to actually have their hands on every single card in the game or have more easy access to it. So I'm always happy when we get some reprints announced. And we had that situation before. Droll already was in a structure deck in Japan in the OCG, but then the list changed to the TCG, so we did not get that Droll reprint, which was super sad. People were really angry about it. Yeah. But maybe this time Droll will make it over. So because Droll actually really needs a reprint. Like I think Raigeki is not that expensive anymore, but Droll is just creeping up again because people have even started to main deck Droll, and definitely is a viable side deck choice at the moment. So all copies are going up in price. All the Drolls, even the rare copy, which is the original one, is like quite expensive. I don't want to like is it a tenner, I think, or so.
But it's more. It's like 12 euros. And it's like it's the same with all the lingering hang trips, I think, because they will find a point where they are extremely relevant in the game. Mm-hmm. And if we didn't have 3 common reprints of Artifact Lancet already, the card could also spike someday.
Yeah, that's true. Absolutely. And Pot of Desires, of course. I think the ultra rare over time was going up a little because decks were playing it. But lately it has been going down a little bit, of course, because of the introduction of Pot of Extravagance, which is just in a few decks a better Pot of Desires, or like in most decks, I would say. So Desires isn't that popular anymore. But still, a common reprint can't hurt us. We will definitely take it. And I will happily play Common Desires. I'm like, no, I don't be like that guy that is, I only play high rare. As soon as I can get my hands on a cheap card, I will surely play it. And I would trade away my expensive one, like my Secret Desires, and I would just play the common one. I'm like that type of guy.
Exactly. Common Ash is the best Ash. By the way, guys, if you haven't seen the structure deck yet, it is like a spell counter type of archetype, and it looks pretty good right now.
Yeah.
And if you have like Tempest Magician, like this level 6 Synchro monster from, I have no idea what set it was of. Let me just check it.
It's really old. I think it could be
Sovereign.
Overdrive? Oh, no. What was it?
CSOC. What was it? Crossroads of Chaos.
That's second even older. Yeah.
Now this thing is getting expensive right now. It's like already at 10 euros in Secret Rare. So if
you're having to not trade it away for bulk.
Yeah. If this one is lying around, like the super rare one isn't expensive yet. So I think you should get your super rare ones if you don't want to spend real money on that. Because like right now it's affordable, and as soon as the deck will come out, like right now it's at €1. So as soon as the deck comes out, it's gonna be like Lady Debug, honestly.
Could be. A1 Lect in the chat says Ultimate Rare Lancia next OTS pack. Let's go. I would like that. At least a holo version of Lancia would be cool, I think.
Yeah, but we need Hayate in Ultimate Rare as well.
Yeah, that comes first. You're right. We need every single Sky Striker. Or Ray in Ultimate Rare would be such a beauty as well. Give us Ray in Ultimate Rare.
That is true.
That would be so gorgeous. So we've spoken about all the reprints. So we have another big topic in the news section, which is the ban list, which was just introduced for the OCG as well.
Yes, indeed.
Let's talk about it. So I will just open up the ban list on the site, and there is only one card being banned in the OCG, and it is the Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon. Probably because of God Dragons?
Yeah, probably. Pretty sure.
Yeah, with God Dragons, it's just a huge combo enabler, so I would assume it is for God Dragons. And the OCG did not want to see so many God Dragon combos anymore. But
I
the rest of the
why.
list will show you what they want to see, actually, which is pretty crazy. But, I mean, let's just go on to the limited section. Leo, tell us, what is the first card being limited in the OCG?
I think it should be Speedroid Terratop.
Yeah.
So, like, it's basically an adjustment to the TCG list, right? I don't know if it, like, at what was it before? Was it at 2? I think 2, right?
Yep, I think so too.
The next card would be Armageddon Night.
Yeah, that one's limited now as well.
Yeah, what a stupid card.
The TCG. It's like
a stupid card.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting because they might think about it like, yeah, in the TCG they limited it and it worked out, but I don't know, did it work out in the TCG? I'm kind of curious about that, but Konami seems to look at it like it worked out in TCG, to put it to 1. So, do you think Armageddon Night at 1 is a good choice for the game?
Well, I mean, I really feel like Armageddon Night is not that much of the problem card. Or I think it kind of is because it is way too generic. But you have so many options. Like, it's either a 3 card or like ban it completely, because it's still a sole target that opens up to so many dumb combos, as you could have seen in like Dinka Bui's deck.
Yeah, right. Absolutely true. And the last card in the limited section actually is Raigeki going to 1. Was it banned in OCG?
I have no idea, honestly. I'm not that much into the OCG, to be honest.
Me neither, but I mean, if it was banned, that's like so crazy, because it doesn't do anything in the TCG at 1, and it was banned in the OCG? That makes no sense to me at all.
Must have been banned, right? Because nobody would play this card if it was legal, so they wouldn't limit it.
Yeah, right. I mean, it makes no sense to set it from 2 to 1 or from 3 to 1, so it probably was forbidden before.
Yeah.
Which is very interesting. And a very interesting thing going to 2 is Dynamite as well. Dynamite for the TCG going to 2, do you think that would matter a lot? Would True Draco be even better?
Yeah, I mean, it would give the deck some of its strength back, but
yeah,
I don't think it would make it a top contender for the metagame, because like having Dynamite is not too impactful. It's good at 1 because they always search it out.
Yeah.
I don't think that hard drawing the card matters so much.
I think you're right. They're still missing Masterpiece. They need Masterpiece to be really, really viable again, I think.
Yeah, this is the thing with semi-limited cards or like limited cards, because it sometimes doesn't matter if they are at 1, at 2, or at 3, because there are still targets that you can search. And if you search a card, it doesn't matter at how much it is, or if it is limited or not, unless you, of course, have cards like Malicious, because there it is pretty impactful, honestly.
Yeah, that's basically the only card where it really makes sense to be semi-limited, right? I do agree with that. Yeah, totally. Yeah, and speaking about totally, also totally awesome, was semi-limited in the OCG as well.
It was at 1, right?
I don't see any point in semi-limiting the totally awesome. That makes no sense to me.
It was at 1, so they're just giving Paleozoic a bit of strength back, so they don't have to recycle the toad always.
Yeah, but I mean, putting it to 3 would do the same. Like, I don't think Paleo would be overpowered with 3 totally awesomes, would it be?
That is indeed true.
Yeah, so like the point you made of no sense in semi-limiting cards, I think that's pretty true. I do agree. As well as like limited removal went to 2, and like would it be hard to actually have 3 limited removals? I mean, you still have to hard draw the card because there's no way of searching limited removals, so why not just have 3? I mean,
well, Cyber Dragon won a YCS.
Yeah, right, in the OCG, you're right, true. So maybe that was their biggest fear, that Cyber Dragon just goes tier 0. Might be the case. Very, very interesting. Next point on the list is A Hero Lives, also going to 2.
If
I'm unsure, was it at 1? It probably was at 1, because still... that probably wasn't a card that was played too much and so had to be lowered on counts. So it probably was more of a card to be upped in the numbers. So it was going from 1 to 2 probably.
Yeah, I guess we're so terrifically informed about this ban list.
Yeah, good point that we're talking about it. Like, chat seems to be a little bit more informed about it. Actually, A1 Leg states out Zephyra seems to be like a good contender for the metagame, with Danglong being back to 3. That takes one thing ahead, because Danglong is one of the cards being unlimited again in the OCG. And do you think that's viable? Do you think that's viable? Danglong with 3, Zephyra with 3 Danglongs?
Yeah, I think Danglong is insane, so you could easily build a deck around it.
Oh, and also, I think you answered to him in the chat already, but Channel 35 actually said Diagram is banned in the OCG. So I don't think True Draco is doing anything then, because without Diagram, it's just not good at all. That's really sad for the guys in the OCGs. They could have given them Diagram at 1 or something. That would have helped the deck more than Dynamite at 2, I think.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, so let's just tell the people what are the last 4 cards going back to 3. So we have Solemn Warning. Interestingly, Solemn Warning was like also a card that negated a lot of Pendulum summons back in the day.
Yeah, that is true.
And then we have Union Hanger. Also interesting that card wasn't unlimited in the OCG before. Seems like there's too much struggle with ABC. But right now, ABC does not seem to be that much of a threat.
They have
we also saw
right?
last week in the team league, ABC wasn't even able to produce an ABC Buster Dragon in a single turn.
Yeah, that is true.
And then 2 very interesting cards. We have Fairy Tale Snow going to 3. And in the OCG it is going to 3. Like, what did I miss there?
I think they have Construct, and they have Grass Looks Greener at 3 still.
Yeah.
So they have like more than full power 60 card lights horn. That deck could keep up with the Zodiac. So honestly, this deck could actually be a contender, but the OCG guys are crazy. They don't build cool decks.
Yeah, and maybe it is still all about Maxi being like the seal for everything. Like, all the combo decks cannot really evolve in the OCG because Maxi is at 3, and Maxi just keeps it in check there. That might be the case.
Yeah, that could be. No, I mean, like, Maxi is, you can't take Maxi as a defining card for a format, actually, I think, because it has like ups and downsides for all the decks. So for every kind of deck. So basically, like, all the decks are special summoning a lot. Like, only Striker doesn't really care about Maxi.
Yeah, and also like Subterror or Altergeist. Also, I think Altergeist, for example, is pretty relevant in the OCG still, and also like Salamangreat. Like, okay, against Salamangreat it is pretty good, Maxi.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like kind of hard to tell why they're not playing the cool Lightsworn deck, which we both enjoyed quite a bit, right?
Yeah, indeed. So I think, like, can you just name the other 2, because our viewers are probably hyped to hear about our special guest.
Yeah, we have Damage Juggler going to 3 as well, and I think then we have them all. Denglong,
Yeah.
Unihunger, Solemn Warning, and Snow are joining the Unlimited section, and I totally agree. We have a very special guest today, so let's introduce her. Do you want to introduce her, Leo?
Yeah, of course. So Zoe, you can now unmute yourself. For you guys, we have the only Zoè Weber.
Hello. Hello.
Hey, Zoe.
How are you today?
Applaud.
Until now, pretty good, thanks. And you?
Oh, we're fine.
Now.
Just podcasting a little.
Yeah, I will hope it continues like this.
No fear to be had, no fear.
Okay, so Zoe, you were like the second place at the Karlsruhe Regional, which we casted this weekend. So why don't you tell us a bit about your matchups and how the day went for you and what you played actually and what the best card in your deck was in Sky Striker?
Yeah, sure. It was quite a good day overall. I had a lot of different matchups. I played 8 rounds and just 2 Salamangreat overall, and the rest were crazy, like Trickstar, even Blackwing. I was like 5-1, and I played versus Blackwing.
Oh,
and
you
then
Blackwing, guys, that's crazy.
Yeah, right. And the last round, I was 6-1, and then I played Dino. So it was crazy as well for me. Yeah, and I played Sky Striker. What a big surprise. I played a build with strikes, and it was as well the best card in my opinion. At the moment, it's so good. It's really, really good against Salamangreat. And also in the mirror, it's fine. And against the rogue deck, strike is always good. So I can't see a reason to not play it. I lost against Salamangreat. This guy just had nuts 2 games. I had literally no chance to win even one of those, so he just 2-0'd me. And the other matches, 5 I won 2-0, and 2 I won 2-1. Yeah.
This sounds like a pretty good run through the tournament. I mean, like, this is always the case with Sky Striker. Like, you barely go XO anywhere because, like, at one point your opponent will just overwhelm you, or basically any tournament, any deck you play. Like, one round is always the one where your opponent has the absolute nuts and you can't play at all.
Yeah, or you have no monster, so no rain party.
Rain, yeah.
No rain party. That's true.
Yeah, that's true.
And,
so yeah.
How far is it actually away from your hometown? Like, how long did you drive to get to Karlsruhe?
So from my home, it would be 2.5 hours, I guess, even a bit less. But we drove together. So I first had to take the train for an hour to drive from there by the car for 2.5 more hours. So the whole travel was around 3.5 hours. Yeah.
That's quite some courage to show to get to the Yu-Gi-Oh! Regional.
Yeah, but I can sleep in the car, so it's fine.
Oh, yeah, right. So, any other special things about the weekend?
There was nothing really, really special. It just surprised me. There were so many strange decks with good standings. So, yeah, not just Salamangreat and Striker and stuff and Thunder, even, like I already told you, like Blackwing and stuff.
Yeah, the Dino Man.
Yeah, the Dino Man, yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of interesting that you were the only player playing Sky Striker in the top 8 of the regional. That's a strange thing. I have to agree, for sure.
Yeah, that's true. I had no mirror match.
No mirror match at all? That's
yeah.
crazy.
I actually like the mirror matches. I'm always happy if I can play against Striker, but there was no mirror match.
Yeah, because you're very experienced with the deck, and obviously you know how to pilot in the mirror match. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So I would say let's talk about the other parts of your Yu-Gi-Oh career so far. What would you say was the biggest success you had so far in your Yu-Gi-Oh career?
Yeah, in my opinion, until now there was no really, really big success. Just some small successes with some smaller tournaments, regionals or stuff. I won, but nothing really big.
And what was the
Until
biggest
now.
then?
Oof.
Like, for example, you did make you did top LDS Italy, didn't you?
Yeah, in Italy I did.
Was it top 8 or what was it?
Top 8. Oof. If if I remember right, top 16 or top 8, not sure yet. No.
Yes. So
Something
a
like
top
this.
here and a top there.
Yeah, top there and the top there, but nothing big. Yeah.
Yeah, still. Leo, what do you think? Shall we just go into quick spell questions?
Oh yeah. Okay, Zoe. So we are having a nice game. We're going to play with you. So we have played this with Lukas Windel and Jonas Koschel before already. So
Okay.
The game, basically, you have 90 seconds in which I'm going to answer you questions. And you have to answer as many questions as you can in those 90 seconds.
With the correct answer as well.
Hopefully.
Okay, I try my best.
So, if you are not sure about a question, you can always say skip, so I will go to the next question so you don't lose too much time.
Okay.
So, Basti, will you make the countdown for me?
Yeah, I will keep track of the time. So I will count down from 3 to 0, and then you can start with power. So 3, 2, 1, go.
Who was the world champion 2014?
Skip.
Who was the Swiss national champ 2018?
André Farkas.
Name 3 boss monsters.
ABC Buster, Masterpiece, and Jesus Christ. Toads. Totally awesome.
Okay. Name 1 band Exceeds monster.
Oh gosh. Skip.
Attack points of Titanial, Princess of Camellias.
Skip.
How often did Zoè Weber lose her Sky Striker deck?
Twice.
What does Team Jim stand for?
Gaming Yu-Gi-Oh! Magic.
Can you attempt to summon dangers when Droll and Blockbird is active?
Yes.
What is 27 plus 6?
What?
What is 27 plus 6?
33.
How many arms are depicted on Called by the Grave?
1, I guess.
Name 2 amazing casters.
Leonard Koenig and Sebastian Lemke.
Perfect. How many main deck cards did Thomas Rose play in Düsseldorf?
No idea.
Which deck won the German Nationals in 2017?
The German skip.
What was the most?
Time is over, guys.
Oh, thank God, I had no questions anymore. I was improvised.
I skipped too many, right?
So I'll just count through. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have 7 correct answers in total.
That's not too bad.
Yeah, a little round of applause again.
Could be worse.
For sure, it could be, because Basti and I played the game against each other this weekend, and he had 4 and I had 5. And like,
yeah, we did pretty
Lukas
bad.
and Jonas both had 9, so I guess we all suck here.
Oof. Yeah.
Big oof.
Big oof.
Still good job. You did better than us too.
At least.
Oh.
Even though I don't know whether Totally Awesome really is a boss monster for me, but
it counts.
Yeah, sure.
It counts.
Definitely. Any other things like Called by the Grave? I think there are at least 3 arms on that card.
I just know about 1 arm because my one friend told me like the nails on the hand look like mine.
I have the card in front of me, and a little bit.
Yeah, it was Marvin Weber, huh?
Oh yeah, he's still in. Cool, nice. Buddy of mine.
Your family member.
Yeah, my cousin.
Is he really?
No, he's not. But it's like nearly almost every week somebody's asking me if he's something like related, if he's my cousin or my brother, and now I just say yes, he's my cousin. But
Makes it easier, right?
Yeah, it makes it easier, and he says I'm the black sheep from the family anyway, so.
He only says that because you never smile on pictures.
Yeah, true that.
So I think we can just move over to our other big topic we've prepared, and we would like to ask you, Zoe, how does it feel like to be a woman in the Yu-Gi-Oh community, and what can we men do better to get like more women into the community?
Oof, big question.
Yeah, take your time.
Big question, yeah. If I would say it's easy, it would be a lie. It's quite hard to be a woman and to stay in this community, because there are not just always positive sides like attention in good form. There are a lot of intention in a bad way. You get from the people, but I guess it gets better from day to day because as I started, there were people they never saw a woman playing. So from event to event, it's like more normal for them because they see me every time. So yeah,
you're representing, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, sure. So it's kind of, I guess, a lot of them react in a special or in a negative way because they don't know how it is, or that it can be just a normal thing. So humans at all, they don't like changes. So probably they don't like if some girls or women enter their game, you know. So
Yeah.
The point to change it is just to make it a normal thing. Yeah, and I guess it's already there are more women at the tournaments. In my opinion, I see every event more and more, and even there are coming women writing me or asking me for pictures or signatures, stuff like this. It's crazy for me because it's like it's the most beautiful compliment you can get in my position, because they're not doing it because they want something from me or anything. They're doing it because they really like me. So yeah. But I guess as man, just treat them as you would treat anybody else. Just don't do, not in a positive or a negative way, do nothing special, you know. So I guess that would be the best thing.
Yeah, just treat you as a Yu-Gi-Oh player, right?
Yeah. Just treat them as a player. I mean, if I do a deck profile or something, I get often comments like about my look or my voice or anything, but I'm there to show my deck. So you can write or judge my deck, but don't judge me. You wouldn't do it by another guy as well. So I'm there for the game and for nothing else.
Sure. It's like, as you said, it's just so unusual for a lot of the players. So it just has to be a thing of time, like it was in real life, like the development of women in this society. And I think we still are a step behind in that regarding Yu-Gi-Oh, but we're on our way as well of like introducing more and more girls to the community. And like, of course, we have super great Yu-Gi-Oh female players in the game. So I think it's just a matter of time.
Yeah, exactly. And I guess it's also kind of a fault from both sides. I guess a lot of women would never even start to play the game or never even look at the game because they judge it before they see it. Yeah. And from the other side, the man, they judge the woman and just think they're bad or they can't play. So I guess we both have our problems, and this is what the actual issue is here.
Yeah. Also, I think Konami is doing quite a good job coverage-wise. As always, when I look through the pictures of the YCS, there are like more and more pictures of women playing the game. So they're sending a signal there as well. And it kind of feels like they try to picture every single woman in that location just to show like, yeah, we have a lot of women playing the game too. So all the women out there, please come and play Yu-Gi-Oh too. Which, I mean, I totally agree to that, but it always feels like they're just picturing the girls on that.
Yeah, I just, those pictures I think they have a good side and a bad side. As you said, maybe for other women that are afraid to play at tournaments, they just think, oh, there are a lot of women, I can do it as well. But in the end, it's kind of a lie because you just see like 10 women and 3 men, but in reality there are like 1,000 men and 10 women. So it's
that is true indeed. Like real expectations.
yeah.
But still, as soon as they're fixed on Yu-Gi-Oh, they probably will stay in the game, as we all did, right? We all got fixed at some point.
So addictive.
Right.
Yeah, right. I guess they just have to come at the point where they're not afraid anymore to play tournaments, and then it will be easy for them to just keep playing this game.
Yep, totally agreed. Nice to hear your standpoint on that. So I would say we should just move to our last category of the podcast. Leo, do you want to explain to people?
Of course I will. I'm hoping that we are at some point getting to the point, or at some time we're getting to the point that I don't have to explain every game in every podcast.
For now, I think it makes sense.
Right now, it is necessary, I guess. So our last format is called Counter Trap, because we are asking you 10 questions. You can answer them however you want, and because it's spell speed 3, we can't chain anything to it. This is so cringe. We can't chain anything to it, and we can't respond.
Okay.
So you will just answer freely, and we won't comment on that.
So I can say whatever I want, and you can't answer, right?
Yeah, please don't abuse that.
Okay.
So are you ready?
Yeah.
So question number 1 is, at what age did you come into the game, and how did that happen?
Oh, wow. Oof. I guess with 18, and that was because of my ex-boyfriend. Yeah.
All right. Question number 2: why do you refuse to top a YCS?
I think I was just too bad until now. I can say I have bad luck, but I think there is bad luck, but not that much. So I was too bad.
All right. Question number 3: as you are a member of Team Gym, how often a week do you work out?
Let's say I would try once, but I go 0 times.
What was the weirdest way somebody approached you at a YCS?
Jesus. Oh, there were so many. Oh, gosh. I guess. Oh.
Just try to give us one.
Yeah, I laugh all the time about them, but I never remember them again. There were so many. I often get. Oh yeah, I often get asked if I got a penis or if I'm a lesbian or stuff like this. Yeah, stuff like really weird shit. Yeah, just imagine some weird shit.
Okay, we'll let that stand. Question number 5: why do you refuse to take featured matches?
I hate them. I really hate them. Honestly, I don't like pictures, as you can see. I'm not a big fan of videos, but the thing is, in feature matches, I got such a big pressure to earn my respect. So I have to be really good that people are respecting me. So I'm really afraid, honestly, to go into a feature match and play bad as I did last time. So this is a point where I can lose that much respect in just some seconds.
Okay. Do you think Sky Striker will survive another banned list?
I hope so, but I don't think so.
Okay, question number 7. What is your favorite YCS location?
My favorite YCS location? About the city or about the location by itself?
About the city, I think.
About the city? Prague? No, Utrecht. Because it's close to Amsterdam, and I really like the city. Not because of the coffee shops. I was in one, but I didn't try. I really like the city by itself.
Cool. So, if there would be no Yu-Gi-Oh in your life, what hobbies would you have?
Food. I I'm a really good eater. I love food.
This is such a great hobby.
That's a perfect answer.
No, honestly, there are not many things I like more than food. I really love to eat all the time, and if somebody wants to make me or bring me joy, just give me some food.
I will write that on my resume as well. Like, I like food as a hobby.
Yeah.
I imagine you just convinced many guys to bring your food to YCSs now.
That's true. That might be a thing in the future.
Some guys bring me pizza.
I mean, you wouldn't disagree with that, or I mean, you would take it.
I honestly don't like presents, but I guess I couldn't say no to food.
So, question number 9. Why is it so hard to keep your deck in between rounds at a tournament?
Oof. Oh, good question. Yeah, it is so weird. It just happened in less than a month twice, and it never happened to me before. But I'm really lucky because I still got a Sky Striker.
Yeah, there's like a special story involving that. Do you mind telling us about it?
Yeah, sure. First time I was in Bologna. I drove to Bologna for the tournament, for the card market stop. So there, between round 3 and 4, actually, my deck just disappeared out of nowhere somehow, and I never it never came back and never found it. They found some other decks, but not mine. And then Adam Stanex from Northern Card Gaming sent me a whole Sky Striker card that I can still continue playing. So after I played his score, and then this YCS Düsseldorf, after the day 1, so I played the last round, I left the venue, and then my deck was just gone again. And I was looking for it everywhere in the car. Because we were in the second YCS, so in the hotel venue. So we even called there, and it was nowhere. So I also found the Sky Striker deck, another one, but it was not mine. So it was from another guy. But then middle of the night, Sunday night, like 4:00 a.m., some Swiss guy were calling us, like somehow my deck appeared again. So it was crazy, but the second Sky Striker deck, so deck from Adam, is back again.
It's still the actual cards, yeah?
Yeah, it was everything was in the stack box, even the dice. The only thing missing was the Team Chim Field Center.
A big fanboy right there.
I have no idea what happened. Yeah. Maybe I was just kind of retarded, so I don't know.
Okay. Bringing us to our last question. Do you have any final shout-outs?
Yeah, of course, to my team, to all of the big boys and the small boys in my team. Yeah, to my cat as well. Best cat. Yeah. That's it.
That's it?
That's
perfect.
It. Maybe I forgot something. I'm sorry.
People will tell you afterwards.
Yeah, they will be angry.
And Jonas Koschel in the chat already saying, I'm pretty sure people will hit you up with food from now on. And you will be too busy eating everything, so you cannot play a YCS anymore, sadly.
It was a mistake to say that, because it's the way to get my heart.
Yeah, I mean, now you have an excuse for not topping anymore.
That's true.
Because I was eating.
Yeah.
Perfect.
You are so brain dead because you ate so much, so that's a very, very good explanation. That's true.
No, I'm already always eating between the rounds. Every round between, I'm eating a sandwich or something.
Yeah, nutrition is key for good tournaments.
Yeah.
That's
and
true.
I'm getting very like a diva if I'm not eating, so I need food.
Yeah, people aren't really talking about that much, but it is really, really important. If you want to perform well at a Yu-Gi-Oh tournament, you definitely should have some food with you, and also like a lot to drink as well.
Yeah. Drink water, guys. Water is
also
big.
Sleep enough.
Also true.
Yeah, because
also a thing nobody really cares about.
Exactly. Usually the players, they try into Friday night of course also me, and they just play the whole night, and the next day they're so fucking tired, and they didn't make really a progress in those hours, so they just stayed up for nothing, and they tired the whole day, and it's quite hard to play that many rounds if you're tired.
Yeah, and then you also don't even make YCS 1.
Yes.
Yeah, was that like, how was that for you? We didn't even talk about YCS Düsseldorf. You were playing YCS 2 as well, right? So were you super sad when that was announced? Like the first moment it was announced that YCS 1 is full, you probably were pretty disappointed.
Oh yeah, it felt so bad because it was such a big trouble for me to come there to the YCS to play this YCS, and even I have had trouble with the deck and stuff. So it was really a big thing to be there, and then I was finally there. And then it was announced, like, so you can't play in the end. And so it was so terrible first for me.
Yeah, do you remember when we met there? And like we were just both extremely sad that we couldn't play the YCS. So we were walking past each other, and both of us, we were just shaking our heads and not even talk to each other because we were so disappointed.
It was just no words, a hug, and we just shake our heads.
At least that, I mean, still you showed yourself some love.
At least. Yeah, but then it changed to another YCS, so they just made the best they could out of the situation. So a lot of people talked bad about it in the end, about the solution with the 2 YCS and stuff. But in my opinion, it was a shame that it came that far, but they literally made the best they could. And also YCS 2, the people were so motivated to play this game. Everybody literally was there to play and was hungry to play, and the judges did the best they could. So it was really, really good.
It was amazing. The atmosphere was so much better.
Yeah.
In other YCSs, I experienced that as well.
Yeah,
we talked about that in the podcast too. Yeah, Leo and me figured out the same. Like it was a bad thing to happen at first, but they managed it perfectly well to organize the second YCS. So that was the best they could do there.
Absolutely, sure. And the venue was so amazing. It was such a nice hotel. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the sandwiches were really good and actually pretty cheap. So I was totally happy there.
Everything Zoè Weber needs for a perfect tournament.
True that.
Okay, yeah. I think it was a blast having you, Zoe. But I would like to wrap it up right here. What do you think, Leo?
Yeah, it was an amazing interview with you. We are happy to have you here once again. Maybe you will top a YCS in the future, and then we can interview you again.
Yeah, best wishes for that.
Yeah, let's hope so.
So, also to you guys, thank you for viewing. If you have enjoyed the podcast, then recommend it to your friends. We are still looking for more and more viewers all the time. So, in the future, we will also have emotes. So if you want to subscribe, also Twitch Prime subscribe to our channel, then go ahead, because we will have awesome emotes for this. And I would say
on their way.
We'll see each other back on Thursday night to see the Ultimate Guard League.